having a kid during this time is not like, I feel like the world is kind of shut down, so it's not like it's that big of a
Yeah.
deal. It's like, obviously you don't want him to get sick, but we're not going anywhere. Like, we're just going to the freaking grocery store and to the hospital
Yeah.
for doctor's appointments and whatnot. And at those appointments, like, they only let one of us go in with him. Um,
It's interesting.
and uh, the pediatrician, she let us both in the first time just because she wanted to meet both of us. Um, but after that, no. And she did telemedicine, so we just basically had like a Skype call with her
Yeah.
to, just to talk about how he's doing and stuff. Um, but we do have to go back for his 2 week appointment on like Tuesday or Monday or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of, and like, oh my god, the hospital. Every time that we would go to get his blood drawn, like, we would have to get our temperature checked, and they would have to ask us like if we've been out of the country, if we've
Yeah.
been in contact with anybody who might have it, have we been feeling bad. Got to fill out this whole questionnaire every single time, and
Every time.
yes, they were very, very, very strict about it. Um, which makes sense because hospitals are kind of breeding grounds for disease, sometimes.
Yeah.
So they had to be very careful about it.
Still, that's kind of crazy. Like, I've had my therapy sessions have been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go see GI, gastroenterologist, whatever the hell.
Yep.
I was supposed to have two appointments, both of which got canceled. My dentist got canceled.
Yeah.
Uh, I've got to talk to a GI doctor now. They're like on the phone, so I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I mean, like what? He's just gonna ask me questions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, I guess. But
Yeah. It's like the world's figuring out how to work and like do things remotely without
face to face
human
interaction.
contact, right? Just so it's really interesting to see how like different industries are doing that. Uh, like Lori is a teacher,
Mm.
and she was like meeting with her students and other teachers over Zoom. I think is the program they use, the video conferencing
Zoom's
program.
really popular for a lot of people in school right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was doing that with her students and with the other teachers, and it's pretty cool that they can do that. Um, well, granted, if they have the technology, there was one
Yeah.
kid that she said he wasn't able to participate because they didn't have any computers with a camera on them.
Mm.
So you have to figure out something else for a student like that. Because I mean, you can't just assume that every kid or every person has video chat capabilities.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I guess I'd never realized how few people have it, even living in like a first world country or like the areas of which we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, and some people don't even have internet. You think about
I
that?
was I didn't until like 20 minutes ago because I went outside and like let Cooper out,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my friends, Clarissa Perez, lives like a street behind us, and she was walking her dog, and I was just like asking because she's like a student teacher or something. She
Mm-hmm.
teaches somewhere around here. She's a gym teacher, and she was just talking about like how some kids don't have internet or accessibility to like
Mm-hmm.
anything, so they have to like drop off like paperwork for these kids to fill out for like schoolwork and stuff.
Yeah.
But I did not really think about that. No.
Yeah. I mean, and that those problems require other solutions. You know, the easiest thing obviously is just to video chat, but you know, when that's not available, you got to figure something else out.
Well, yeah, you gotta still go to school. Get that education. Got to get learned.
Right. One thing that I thought about when you say that you still got to get an education, I asked Lori, how many kids do you think after this will be homeschooled by their parents? Because they're kind of doing that now.
Yeah,
So I want
it's like assisted homeschooling, I guess, because the teachers still make the lessons and things.
they really for like 2 or 3 weeks they really didn't have a whole lot of contact, but now
Yeah,
they're like starting to get contact going again. So I wonder. I'm just curious, like how many will there be like a spike in homeschooling now after this? After a mom's done it for a month, she thinks that well maybe I could do this more efficiently. So I spend only 4 hours a day teaching my kid, and then we go do other things when he's normally at school for 8 or whatever it is.
yeah.
So that was just the one question I had. That'd be really interesting to see.
It will be. I think that it's either like you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it because I know a lot of people don't have the time necessarily to homeschool,
Yeah.
and I know that a lot of kids hate being home. Like
Right.
they appreciate the social atmosphere that school brings
Right.
along with the education.
Right.
Shout out to Yorkville Public Schooling. The social atmosphere I feel like was a lot stronger than the educational atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Can vouch for
But
that as
I
well.
mean, I don't know. I think homeschooling is great and all. I think it's like it could definitely be done well, but I feel like the social atmosphere of being in like public high school has led to learning a lot more than what you would I would have learned if I were to have been like homeschooled. You know what I mean?
Like learning about people.
Yes,
Yeah.
and like yeah, and interacting with one another and gaining like those social skills,
Mhm. Yeah,
which only occur when you're around a bunch of people. But
right. Yeah, I agree. That it kind of forces you to learn things about people, but I think that also you could have situations where you learn from like in groups, like social groups as well.
yeah,
Outside of that, like if a kid was homeschooled, then you could have a group at every evening or something, that they go and do crafts, or who knows. There's all sorts of stuff like that for kids that don't have uh, or don't go to school.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So another thing about the whole like teaching kids now that they're at home. So Lori teaches in a small school district in rural America. So her parents mostly care. There's a little bit of a technology problem, but the parents want their kids to learn and they want them to do well, and so they're involved. And then we were talking to Hannah's friend Heidi, who teaches at a small school in urban Orlando, Florida,
yeah.
and she's like, we can't even contact the kids' parents at all. Like they can't freaking find the parents. They don't even know if like the kid's at home. Like they have had no contact, and they've tried to contact people. Um, and it's just really interesting for me to see the difference in how parents being involved changes a kid's education.
Well, yeah. Like I don't know. I always wanted to do better in school because I knew that like mom and dad were like cared about me going to school and shit. So like I always wanted to do better. But like if they didn't care, I would not have fucking graduated high school. Like we're just being honest here.
So right, and like so and plus mom and dad like helped.
Oh
They
yeah,
they helped with your homework. Like if you had a question, you could ask them, and most of the time they would know or be able to figure it out or help you figure it out. But
yeah.
like these kids that Heidi's teaching, they don't even, their parents might not even be home. They might be home alone for days on end. They're like in freaking second, third, fourth grade, and they're just out
Florida people,
there
dude, they're
on
fucking crazy.
what?
They're Florida people, dude. They're crazy.
Well, I just don't. I just think they don't give a shit about their kids, and now they're being
That's what it
forced
seems
to
like.
take care of them, and they don't want to at all. So it's kind of sad, but it's the reality.
Well, yeah, and we are also outsiders looking in on a situation that we don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that definitely seems like they don't give a fuck about their, like, it definitely doesn't seem like they care, but
From what Heidi says, that's
yeah,
that's what it seems like, is that the parents just absolutely do not care. They treat the school like a daycare. Um, so
I mean that's how I kind of thought about school. It was like really like weren't learning much, but we were paying to come here to get a piece of paper that said we got taught certain things when it
mhm.
really feels like a fucking daycare. Like I can do and say whatever the fuck I want, and you're really not gonna do anything to stop.
In a lot of circumstances, yeah, that's true.
It's like I don't know. I was I wasn't a bad kid or anything, but there's definitely instances where it's just like this is just a glorified daycare.
Yeah,
It was hey, it was high school. It was a good time though. I had a good time. I had a great
well, that's good. And you graduated. Excuse me. And you graduated, so that's good.
yeah.
That's all that
Yep.
matters, really.